Okay. Yep. Okay. So in the brown, yeah, hanging well off his arms, pretty good leg connection, and getting the hanging point. And this is I think a bit of a fetish on my part, this hanging from the outside arm, because it's certainly something which isn't happening in certainly in New Zealand at the moment, and certainly isn't happening in some of the people that I saw rowing in Cambridge on Wednesday. So here's a hanging off here again. But so the basic thing, just looking at the moment, is getting of this idea of a certain rhythm that is developing. This one a little bit slower around the finish than what perhaps I have people moving at the moment, but there's this pattern of movement of really fitting into the boat, into the way the boat's feeling. And the other thing is that this tied in with this training thing that people went on doing this for kilometre after kilometre or mile after mile. So they got this pattern stuck into their mind if they didn't already have it. Some people had it very, very obviously, like the guy, we won't worry about the shirts now, but the guy that was rowing in 7, obviously got a very, very set pattern in his head, that same as this guy here, and you can probably pick that out quite well amongst, where some people haven't got the same sort of feeling as the others, but that's the overall pattern is that. Yeah, just keep running away. Okay, so this is me moving on. This is actually part of crew 94 crew, not sitting where they were sitting, but this is actually one of the best crews that was in New Zealand, went from New Zealand, and didn't do well at the last, finished 4th at the Olympics, which was really disappointing for everybody, because it certainly was the best and probably the fastest crew that's probably coming out of the country. But however, here's some of the idea of this rhythm, of this feeling of the boat glide, and you can sense that from the people, where their concentration is. It's sort of in a outside of the boat in a way. They're just sort of floating within a rhythm that happens to be there, which they've obviously created for themselves. But getting this pattern, this has to come out of the picture that you've got yourself. Just one. Right, about here. Okay, so this bit here it's just a bit of paddling to start with, but you can also always see it's still in this movement of, yeah, I mean, some's talking, some's getting stuff out of their nose and a few other things, but it's just they're just coming up. Oh, there's the point. Away we go again, and there's just a complete sort of natural point in which they are all just sort of entering in the water, even though they're doing a few other things at the moment. This is the end of a 20-minute piece, so I'll start another one in a minute or in a moment. But and so then once they start, the whole time the stern's not stopping. It's just this ability just to come on, pick up the boat. I say this is a key area that I'm looking at. Some people maybe watch the bow, but I'm always watching on here to see how well crews are actually getting their timing. And so from this point, shortly, they just sort of start to get up and get going again. But all the time they've been paddling, the blade just, all this waiting time, blade just been entering the water in this rhythm. Okay, so they're off, start to move off again. Okay, so here's this, this complete running on all the time here, and just picking the boat up and moving it off. And the same sort of rhythm as was with the one with a bit of music. It's just stepped up to, I don't know what the rating is, but it's just stepped up a bit, and yeah. Okay, so it's sort of a loping rhythm that you just get out of the acceleration, and then the maximum sort of time you can get yourself on the slide. And so some people are doing it better than others, but the overall impression is that that's You know, that's how the boat's